Arsenal have gone ahead to take what we call a no rushing back Jurrien Timber decision. The decision has gone ahead to be made, it has been taken, and guess what? It is really being into what we call full pelt here onto the Rokani Media Football. Welcome to this channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. For those watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Then Ortega of Man City has gone ahead to speak out on certain things that he really need to know about this. And also, we are really having a very huge story coming in through from Bayern Munich, as Rangnick, he's really one of those that has gone ahead to obviously be put onto the list of the replacements of Thomas Tuchel, whom we noted that he might be leaving the side of Australia after the Euros and might be interested in coaching the side of Bayern Munich. We thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum, and let's not forget to subscribe to this channel so as to hit 21,000 subscribers before the end of this beautiful week. So, the Christians, we cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ, and let's obviously get into this Jurrien Timber story, as it's going to be revealed to us by Mikel Arteta. And Arteta has gone ahead and said Jurrien Timber is doing very well. He's training back. He's not far off. But the thing is that last step, he hasn't played any minutes. So does he need a game with the under-21s? Does he need 2 games? We are going to have to see, especially because he's training with us, and we need to see how long that will take. That last part is tricky and sometimes takes a while, hopefully as soon as possible. Now, you remember during the international break, the first week of the international break, when Arsenal went ahead to play against QPR, and Arsenal was beaten by 4 goals to 0, and the only 2 players that took part into that game of football were simply Thomas Partey and Tomiyasu. Thomas Partey played 68 minutes and Tomiyasu played 45 minutes. And I was like, where is Jurrien Timber, for God's sake? That was my question. And the moment I never saw him there, I really came up to understand that something was really happening with him and was really okay. But the manager was like, we are not supposed to rush him, and the physios are really taking all their time possible to see to it that they obviously get him the best that he deserves as a player. So it looks like they're not willing to rush him back, and all what is going to have to be put up onto the cards is simple. You know, let's not hurry him back, because we are having players that can really do, his job. For example, at the left back, they're really having very many players that can really kill off this beautiful game, these beautiful positions. They've gone ahead, obviously, put in lots of shifts. For example, at the right back, there is Tomiyasu, Cedric Soares, there is Benjamin White. All those 3 can come in through and really get the job done and dusted. At the left back, where Jurrien Timber also plays, Arsenal is really having plenty or huge or massive talent in there. And they're having Jakub Kiwior, Zinchenko, Tomiyasu. So when you are having really those players and you're not in a panic, then you shouldn't obviously come in through and obviously hurry to get back your player that you think is going to be having a very fantastic impact in the remaining games of the season. And you might even want to see to it that he gets fit for the Euros. He goes to play in the Euros with Netherlands. Then after, he finds himself in a better position to start a preseason with Arsenal. That's 7 months he has been out through his rehabilitation and healing. Can really work out as the best ever for any player that has gone ahead, obviously coming through and really face things like this. So for me, I'm really excited, and I love Jurrien Timber. You all know, my love for him can never be hidden. He's that kind of player that has all what I think a complete footballer should be all about, and he really best describes the modern players, like those Dutch players. You know, if you're gonna hate to know what the Dutch players are all about, the Dutch players are all about quality. And when you look at his quality, his technical ability as Jurrien Timber, it's out of this world. And that's why I really love him die. I don't support Arsenal, but, you know, for me, when there is a good player, I really give him credit. I know they're going to hate to miss him out a lot because he has a lot to offer on the game as a player. And I know he's going to put in a lot of shift. So it looks like they're not going to hurry him back as a side of Arsenal. Mikel Arteta's going to hate to sit down with the physios and they're going to hate to take that decision. And that decision is going to be followed because the only position you feel like they need to sit if the Jurrien Timber returns as soon as possible is the central defense, because you don't know who is really going to get injured. If it's Gabriel Magalhaes, you very much know that Jakub Kiwior will come in through. But if Saliba gets injured, who comes in through? I understand people will say Benjamin White here. Benjamin White can come in through and really get the job done and dusted. But do you think you need a Benjamin White or a Jurrien Timber to be playing that position? That is the big question, because William Saliba's backups are there, but they're not going to hate to be tested. And to my understanding, I think the best option that Arsenal can do to obviously replace that guy, I'm talking about Saliba when he's really injured, it's Declan Rice. That is it. I think I'd rather play Declan Rice in the central defense and then put Thomas Partey, Jorginho and Odegaard in the midfield. So it shows you that there is no reason for Arsenal to panic. They're really having very many players to obviously come in through to feature into the remaining parts of the game. So for that, you really give him credit, and you really give them the best they deserve. And we might see him in the remaining 3 or 5 games, because I expected him to come out through and be part of the game of Bayern Munich, but it looks like he's not going to be part of the action, you know. But all in all, we wait and see how Arteta really culminates him into the team. So Arsenal fans are really hugely waiting for that day Jurrien Timber really gets back into the starting 11 of Arsenal. But according to this story, it shows you that it's going to be one of the hard decisions that you'll ever really see Arteta make, because it looks like only the patient are really ready to really see Jurrien Timber kick a ball for Arsenal. But that calls in for a very huge sweep out of Arsenal, because if you're having all those left backs, you know, and right backs before Jurrien Timber is back, that means in the summer a clear out is going to be made, and that clear out is going to be about getting in other players and really sweeping out, because Arsenal has 4 players that can play as left backs: Jakub Kiwior, Zinchenko, Jurrien Timber and Tomiyasu. So who are they really gonna lay off? We wait and see how that pans out. But you never know, Jakub Kiwior might be considered next season as a left-sided centre-back, and the rest of the players will be given a go to play as left backs in there for you. So Arteta was really asked again on his chances of playing for the first team this season. He was talking about Jurrien Timber. He said, I think he has a good chance. I don't know the percentage, but I think he has a good chance and he's going to push it as far as he possibly can. As we've told you, he really has a very good chance, but we don't know when. Arsenal is left with 8 games right now. They have to play Brighton, they have to play Man United, they have to play Aston Villa, they have to play Newcastle, they have to play Tottenham Hotspur. Let me check those games. Arsenal is left with 8 games and 2 in the Premier League, and we don't know how they're really gonna go ahead and obviously happen into the mix. But all in all, we want to know that Jurrien Timber is gonna be given his chance when he really feels the criteria of obviously getting back to play for the side of Arsenal. So in the remaining games of Arsenal, there are 8 in the Premier League. There is a game for Brighton, there is a game for Aston Villa, there is a game for Wolverhampton Wanderers, there is a game for Chelsea, there is a game for Spurs, there is a game for Bournemouth, there is a game for Man United, there is a game for Everton. Now, when is he going to be ready to come in through and really put in the shift as a player who is really needed and highly awaited for by the fans of Arsenal? I tell you, if there is a player if you are to conduct a poll and ask Arsenal fans, which player would you want to see on the field of play? Most of them are going to tell you one player, and that is going to be Jurrien Timber, because of what he's going to have to do game in, game out for the club of Arsenal. He's really a very fantastic guy. I love him, and I know what he can do, especially in the remaining games of the season, to really give Arsenal their flowers and really help them win the beautiful games of football. That is the main man for him. Now, let's obviously leave Jurrien Timber there, because it looks like a no rush decision has been made by the side of Man United, and sorry, by the side of Arsenal, not Man United, because he plays for Arsenal. Now, Ralf Rangnick has come out and really been given a very good hype to be one of those managers that might be really be given a chance to take part into getting straight at the club of Bayern Munich to replace Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel is one of those that is going to have to come up and really said he's not going to return at the side of Bayern Munich. That has been confirmed, and no doubt about it. It has been confirmed, and he's one of those that he's not going to have to make the list. And we've been told by Kicker that Ralf Rangnick has supporters with Bayern Munich's hierarchy because he's successful, German speaking, and has proven that he can lead a squad rebuild without any compromises and act in the interest of the club. That is what we're going to have to get in through from the man himself, that is the Kicker. And the Kicker is really so close to the side of Bayern Munich, and he puts in a very good shift every time it's really called in for. And I would like to inform you that Ralf Rangnick is a very good manager, but you need to give him the tools for him to work. If you want to obviously have him, you need to give him the tools. I'm going to hate to see him do that job for very many sides, but the problem has always been Man United never gave him the tools. One will say, but he failed at Man United. How can you come and trust him at the club of Bayern Munich? I tell you, he's good. He's good. And if you want to obviously build a team, he's really good. And if at all you want to get in a person that will give you the best that you deserve as a side to really rebuild your staff, he's one of the guys that you need to be having at your team. I really trust him, and I think Bayern has the quality that can meet the demands of this manager, because he's a very demand-seeking manager. He's very demandful, and if at all you're not willing to offer him that intensity and those runs in there for you, he'll tell you, please, this is not meant for you. And at this juncture, when they are in the rebuild, I think the best person they need is Ralf Rangnick, who can come out and obviously come in through, act as a coach, and sometimes sit down to really draft a new project for them. Because when you look at how teams like Bayern Leverkusen have come out, obviously edge the side of Bayern Munich, and now they're like 13 points ahead of them, it shows you how ruptured the project of Bayern Munich is. You don't need to be having those stars, but you need to be having a team that can really die for your side. And I think that's what Ralf Rangnick will come out and really cite out players to show you how good Ralf Rangnick is. If at all you really didn't know, he's that manager that was at Man United after Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was sacked. After Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was sacked, this manager came in through, and there are certain players he came up and obviously looked at, and he was like, you should get in those players at Man United. And the list was having the following: 1, Enzo Fernandez; 2, Akanji; 3, Julian Alvarez; 4, Konrad Laimer; 5, Michele. And which other player did he talk about? So he talked about 6 players, you know, that have gone to be of pure quality, and they've gone ahead to go for huge amounts of money ever since the transfer windows have gone ahead to open up. So he has a very good eye, and these players were still cheap players, you know, they are still cheap players, and they never really had what we call that buyout clause that would have gone ahead to put them in 100+ million euros of sale. So I think for your Bayern Munich and you want to rebuild your project, you need this guy. he's the right guy, and I think if they're considering him to come in through and obviously build up that project, then he goes up to the hierarchy of Bayern Munich, then that's better, because the people at the top have not gone ahead to be proven anywhere. This guy is going ahead to be proven. He can really scout your players and really tell you, let's get to the building levels again. And when you look at Nagelsmann being one of those that Bayern wants to reappoint because of his performances at Germany, to convince him better, I think you need this guy, Ralf Rangnick, because he's the one that was responsible for drawing a project for the Leipzig, you know, for the Red Bull family in there for you. So that is it, Ralf Rangnick for you, but he's going to go to the Euros with, I think, Australia. Is this Austria? And he'll be doing the needful in there for the side of Austria. So if at all he does great, then Bayern Munich might obviously think about him as they're really looking for the next replacement. As Xabi Alonso said, no, De Zerbi is still available, and De Zerbi has a buyout clause of like 16 million pounds to 18. So we wait and see how that pans out and who is going to be the next manager for the side of Bayern Munich. Ortega, who was the goalkeeper against Arsenal, has come out and really said, I started to play at Anfield. It was nice. The Emirates Cup, after Arsenal, now Aston Villa. Just try to be there, do my job, and be happy every game for every game you get. 4 big games in a row, I think I did well, showed other people can trust me. Now, Ortega is really one of those goalkeepers that have gone ahead to be linked to a huge move out of Man City because of lack of game time. And I told you, every time you say goalkeeper, like saying I really want to leave because I'm not getting enough playing time, that means there is another suitor that is going to have to come out or come in the picture to promise him huge playing time. And this suitor has going to have to come out and really put in a very good shift. But happily enough, he has going to have to get in games courtesy of the injury of Edson Molares. And everything that's going to have to be talking about is as a blessing in disguise, as this guy has going to have to obviously lose out. You know, that he's Edson Molares, and the manager looks like he has no reason to hurry him back to play the ball and kick the ball for the side of Man City. But I think Ortega is a very good goalkeeper and he qualifies to obviously be in a starting position. When you look at those games we're going to talk about, at Anfield, he never conceded. Against Arsenal, he never conceded. Against Aston Villa, he conceded 1. So it's like he's really a very good ball-playing goalkeeper, and the way he does his work is really out of this world. So we wait and see how that pans out, but it is one of those stories I felt important to bring to you. Are these 4 games I was going to have to get in a row, going to keep him at Man City for some time, you know, because sometimes you just need that comfort of 4 games and feel like, all right, I'm going to have to show the world how good I am. So all that and more into the comment section below. Tell me your thoughts of the no rushing back Jurrien Timber decision being made by the side of Arsenal. Do you think the decision is good or not? Ralf Rangnick to Bayern Munich list, and Ortega excited for his 4 games that's going to have in as a run-in for the side of City. We cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ, the Muslims, Ramadan Kareem, and let's pray to it that we end ED well. That is mid next week. Ciao, ciao.